My name is Beverly Watts. I am the director of the Tennessee Human Rights Commission, and we want to welcome you to this, our second hearing on the status of human rights in Tennessee. We regularly track information related to our jurisdiction, which is receiving and investigating complaints of discrimination in employment, housing, and public accommodations, and in our Title VI compliance program for all state agencies. Last year, we were in this room celebrating our 50th anniversary, and I believe we'll be back here later today to celebrate and to witness a video that was done by UTC on the honorees from Chattanooga. Well, this year is our 51st year, and we wanted to assess where we are today and what the issues are throughout the state. We always are asked, or at least I'm always asked, and it's always like a report card, well, how are we doing? How do we compare to other states? Or in the case of Chattanooga, I'm always asked, well, how do we compare to Nashville, Memphis, and those other cities? Everybody wants a report card. What we could tell them was what we knew about complaints, but we could not tell them what we think is a more global picture. So we hope to assess and define and gather details about information, some of which is jurisdictional, some of which may be broader in scope. It is our hope that then we'll meet our goal to enhance relations throughout Tennessee, and that was the original goal, was race relations is much broader than that today. So we plan to issue a final report sometime later this year, and we hope that it will provide comprehensive information. We hope that we're going to hear, as we did in Memphis, some of the issues that are affecting Chattanooga, Hamilton County, and surrounding areas, as well as some of the things that are being done to enhance Chattanooga and Hamilton County in the area of human and civil rights. We are looking forward to the testimony today. We do have a full agenda, but what we want to do first is to share some information with you just briefly about what we do and what we have seen in Hamilton County and surrounding areas over the past couple of years. But before I do that, let me introduce staff. You met a couple of staff, and then I'm going to introduce the person that's going to come up to make this presentation. Two staff members who are located here in Chattanooga, Ms. Barbara Gardner and Renee Smith. And I believe you met Susanna Berry when you came in. Tracy Davison is up front. And now I'm going to ask our deputy, Sabrina Hooper, to come up and to provide you with information about who we are and what we do. Thank you. Oh, excuse me. One more final thing. Yes. One more final thing. See, this is what happens when they don't give you the real script and they leave out somebody and you're reading what. The person I'm about to introduce is our commissioner, and that's Crystal Horn, who is here in Chattanooga. We hope to have Reverend Paul McDaniel joining us later. He is also a commissioner. So, Commissioner Crystal Horn, do you have any comments at this time? No. All right. Oh, and I'm sorry, Council Member Chip Horn is here. Henderson. I'm going to give you a new name. Thank you, Council Member Henderson.
Good morning and welcome. Thank you all for being here. The Commission is an independent state agency responsible for enforcing the Tennessee Human Rights Act and the Tennessee Disability Act. We investigate discrimination complaints in housing, employment, and public accommodations on the basis of race, color, creed, national origin, religion, sex, disability, familial status in housing only, and age 40 or over in employment only. All of our cases go through mediation, is offered through mediation. We have a mediation program, and we're at 51% resolution rate on those. So we are so proud of our mediation program. It's voluntary and it's free of charge. So both parties have to agree to go through mediation, and then you can go, if one of them says no, then it goes right into investigation. If complaints are found with reasonable cause, then you have an opportunity to mediate again. If it's not settled there, then we would go through litigation. So that's just a brief overview of how we do our complaints. The Commission is also responsible for coordinating the state of Tennessee's compliance Title VI program. So looking at the complaints, last year in employment, we received 518 complaints of discrimination. 55 of those were from the Hamilton County, so the surrounding area. Race continues to be the top basis, with disability and retaliation tied for second. In the top industries, the healthcare, we see about 14% of healthcare, and in manufacturing is 13%. Food services and retail is about 12% of our cases. The healthcare industry has received a 19% increase since 2010, so that's significant. In housing, we receive 100 cases of discrimination, and that is a 29% decrease since 2010. So we're not sure about that one. I'm sure there's more things going on, we're just not hearing about that. 7% of those were from Hamilton County, and that was a decrease of 42%. So either you're doing something really well, or we're just not hearing about it. Disability is still the top basis. That usually includes denial or delay of reasonable accommodations or modifications. There was an 18% increase in disability complaints, and race was the second. So that's a little bit of what I had to share today. I'll be around the rest of the session if you have questions about the specific numbers, and I'll turn it back over to the director.
Thank you, Sabrina. If you have questions about what we do, if you have issues, if you yourself have a personal concern that you'd like to discuss with one of our staff people, let us know. We have a series of individuals scheduled to provide testimony today. And at any point in time that you want, if you have a specific personal issue, though, we would prefer that you see us because we're bound by confidentiality issues when it comes to actual complaints themselves. So if you have specific personal issues, or you know of something or someone, don't say it out loud. Tell one of us, and we will then do an intake and make sure that we get the information in our system so that we can do an investigation. Let me do a few housekeeping things before I bring up our first witness. The format is going to be pretty simple. We're going to ask each witness to come up, and they'll provide testimony as they are outlined on the agenda that you received when you came in. If a witness has not arrived, we're going to skip over them and keep going. The testimony is about 10 to 15 minutes. We ask that they stay up front for a moment when you testify, just in case our commissioners have questions. For those of you in the audience, if you have a comment or question during the hearing, you can use the comment cards to give those to us and send it either to the registration desk or just get it to me, and we'll be able to ask that for you. Our commissioners will be asking questions as they see fit about testimony, clarification, etc. And we will then, as we say, ask questions if you in the audience have them, as long as you get us, write it down and get it to us. All right. Our first witness today is Valerie Radu with the Grove Street Settlement House.